Before you get your new DJI Avata 360, there are some things you really need to know, and some of them might surprise you! Today we're going to look at 8 questions about the DJI Avata 360 that keep coming up from the community. Since I've been flying this drone for several months now, I can give you a clear answer to each one along with a short explanation where needed. The goal here is to give you a realistic overview without a lot of unnecessary talk. 8 questions, 8 answers, as simple as that. And this should give you a solid understanding of whether the DJI Avata 360 is the right drone for your needs, or if you might have different expectations and should consider something else instead. Because in the end, the Avata 360 is a bit different from what some of you might expect. So let's jump straight into the first question. Can the DJI Avata 360 track objects? The answer is simple. Yes, it can. And it does not really matter if you want to track yourself, a friend, or even a car. The DJI Avata 360 is actually the first drone in the Avata series that offers this kind of tracking functionality. And the good thing is, you are not limited to one control method. You can use it with the goggles and motion controller, but also with a traditional controller like the RC2. Just select your subject, activate tracking, and you're ready to go. And one of the biggest advantages here is that the drone features omnidirectional obstacle sensing. That means it actively avoids objects that cross its flight path while tracking. For this, it mainly relies on the forward-facing LiDAR, and this is where the 360 design becomes really interesting, because the Avata 360 does not need to rotate while tracking. It can simply fly straight forward, allowing the LiDAR to work at its full potential while the 360 camera keeps the subject in frame at all the time. And while the drone is tracking, you can still change the tracking position. You can move to the side, fly in front, go above the subject, whatever works best for your shot. This makes tracking with the DJI Avata 360 surprisingly flexible. Since the DJI Avata 360 belongs to the Avata series, it's a very logical question, but the answer isn't quite as simple. If you're a true FPV pilot looking for full manual or full acro mode, you might be disappointed, because the DJI Avata 360 does not offer full manual control. You can switch the DJI FPV Remote 3 into M mode, but this actually has no effect. The drone simply stays in sports mode, which means you are still flying in a partially assisted mode. Yes, you can control the drone manually and fly quite dynamically, but it's not fully manual. That means aggressive maneuvers like flips, dives, or full acro flying are simply not possible. This mainly comes down to the design of the drone. The Avata 360 is relatively flat and wide, which shifts the center of mass and results in a lower power to weight ratio, so full acro flying just wouldn't make much sense for this type of drone. But DJI did think about this. With the motion controller, you can use what DJI calls easy acro. These are pre-programmed maneuvers like flips, rolls, or rotations that are executed automatically. And thanks to the 360 camera, these maneuvers still look quite dynamic and flexible in your final footage. The big advantage here is safety. These moves are much easier to perform and significantly safer. The downside, of course, is that the classic FPV fun factor is somewhat limited with the DJI Avata 360. So, as we just talked about, the DJI Avata 360 does not offer a full acro mode. That also means the tilt angle during acceleration is limited, which directly affects the maximum speed. According to DJI, the Avata 360 reaches a top speed of around 65 km/h, and that actually puts it right into a very interesting spot. It's fast enough to feel dynamic, but still slow enough to stay controllable, especially in more complex environments. For example, when flying in a forest, near obstacles, or in a narrow terrain like a canyon, this balance actually becomes very important, because at some point more speed doesn't necessarily mean better shots. So in my own tests with little to no wind, I was able to reach a maximum speed of about 70 km/h, and that's actually very similar to what we're used to from other DJI drones in this category. In real world flying, this speed feels more than sufficient. You can still create dynamic shots, follow moving subjects, and fly low and fast without constantly feeling like you're losing control. For me personally, this is a very good balance. But if you're looking for something more aggressive, or if you're coming from a full FPV background, you'll probably want something faster, like the DJI Avata 2. In my test, the DJI Avata 360 turned out to be surprisingly stable in windy conditions. Even in stronger wind, the footage remains very stable, and that mainly thanks to the 360 camera, which allows the drone to compensate for movement and keep the horizon steady. Of course, you can still see the drone fighting against the wind. It tilts quite aggressively at times, but this doesn't really affect the final footage. Thanks to GPS stabilization, the Avata 360 also holds its position very well. According to DJI, it can handle wind speed at up to level 5 wind resistance, which corresponds to roughly 40 kilometers per hour, I guess. So during one of my test days, we've had particularly wind conditions with gusts of up to 40 kilometers per hour, and as you can see from the footage, the recorded video still looked very stable. Even tracking worked without any major issues, and I was still able to capture clean panoramic shots of the landscape and nearby castles. Of course, you should always be more careful when flying in strong winds, but overall, the Avata 360 handles windy conditions surprisingly well. This is probably one of the key questions for any drone, and just like in the automotive industry, manufacturer numbers are always measured under ideal conditions. According to DJI, the Avata 360 offers a maximum flight time of around 23 minutes. But as always, that number is based on perfect conditions. No wind, constant speed, and very smooth flying. In reality, that's simply not how we fly. We accelerate, change direction, fight wind, and often fly more aggressively. All of that reduces the actual flight time. And another important factor is that you almost never fly a drone down to 0%. Return to home usually triggers at around 15%, and even if you override that, the drone will automatically land at around 10% to protect the battery. So realistically, depending on wind conditions and how aggressively you're flying, you can expect around 17 to 20 minutes of actual flight time. And honestly, that's a very solid number, especially considering the size and performance of the DJI Avata 360. If you are using the Fly More combo with 2 additional batteries, you can easily stay in the air for around 45 to 60 minutes total. So overall, the battery performance of the DJI Avata 360 is definitely solid and more than usual for most real-world scenarios. So this is unfortunately one of the more disappointing points, because the DJI Avata 360 is, simply put, quite loud. Even though DJI updated the propeller design, the noise level is still very noticeable. And this is likely mainly due to the overall weight of the drone, which requires more power to stay in the air. In our tests, we measured up to 113 decibels during takeoff, and while hovering at around 1 meter distance, the noise level was about 81 decibels. And even at 5 meters, it was still around 70 decibels, which is clearly audible. So another factor is the sound signature itself. The Avata 360 produces a rather high-pitched noise, which makes it even more noticeable, especially in quiet environments. This means flying in a park without being noticed or without drawing attention is almost impossible. And that's unfortunate, because noise is one of the biggest reasons why pilots hesitate to fly, even when it's legally allowed. So while the Avata 360 is definitely fun to fly, you should be prepared for attention. People will notice it, and in many situations they will likely react to it. Especially in quiet areas, the drone becomes noticeable very quickly, even at greater distance. So the question is, does the drone output files in MP4 format? The answer to this question is both yes and no, but in most cases it's actually no. And that's because the Avata 360 will mainly be used in dual lens mode, which records full 360-degree footage. In this mode, the drone creates files in OSV format. These files cannot be opened directly like a normal video file. Instead, you need to use DJI Studio to process them. This means every clip needs a short post-production step. You select the desired angle, choose the framing, adjust the clip length, and then export the footage as an MP4 file. Only after that, the file behaves like a normal video and can be edited, shared, or uploaded as usual. But to be fair, this is completely normal for 360 gear. If you worked with 360 cameras before, you already know that there is always a post-production step involved. So however, there is one situation where the DJI Avata 360 does record MP4 files directly. The drone allows you to switch between dual lens mode and single lens mode. If you record in single lens mode, the drone outputs MP4 files immediately. However, this also means you are no longer recording 360-degree footage, but instead using the drone like a traditional single camera drone. That means you can transfer them directly to your phone and use them just like any other standard drone footage without any additional processing. What about lens replacement? With a sensitive system like this, scratches on the lenses are almost unavoidable at some point. So the question about lens replacement is definitely justified. The good news is, yes, you can replace the lenses. DJI even offers a dedicated replacement kit for the Avata 360. I'll actually cover the full replacement process in a separate video, but one thing I can already say is that the kit includes not only the replacement lens, but also the necessary tools, and the overall quality of the kit is very good. So that means most users should be able to replace the lens themselves as long as you're reasonably careful. So even after a small accident or scratch, you can bring the DJI Avata 360 back to a clean and usable condition. And that's important because scratches or impacts on the lens can quickly lead to visible image artifacts. This system is quite sensitive, so keeping the lens in good condition really matters. Of course, the best solution is still to fly carefully and avoid damages in first place, but DJI clearly designed the system with this in mind. The obstacle sensing works very well, and since there is no full acro mode, the risk of aggressive crashes is also reduced, which also helps protect the lens over time. If you have more questions about the DJI Avata 360, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And if there are enough interesting ones, we can definitely do a second part and go through them one by one. If you enjoyed this video, like it and subscribe to the channel. I hope this video helped you decide whether this drone is the right fit for your needs. I'll see you in the next one. And now grab your drone, head outside and get some flying done. I hope you have a lot of fun with your DJI Avata 360 and capture some great shots. Thanks for watching, have a good day, see you, bye bye!